The rain started just before sunset, cold and relentless, turning the narrow roads of Cedar Hollow into rivers of mud. Daniel Harper stood on the sagging wooden porch of his small rental house, watching the storm roll across the fields. The house wasn't much, 2 bedrooms, peeling paint, and a roof that groaned in heavy wind. But it was all he could afford after medical bills and his wife's funeral drained what little savings he had. Inside, 8-year-old Lily sat at the kitchen table, drawing with a dull crayon. She hummed softly to herself, the way she always did when she sensed her father was worried. Daniel checked his watch. The auto repair shop where he worked had cut his hours again. Winter was coming, and he had no idea how he would manage heating bills. He rubbed a tired hand over his face, telling himself the same thing he had every night for 2 years. Just get through today. Thunder cracked, loud enough to shake the windows. Then he saw headlights weaving unsteadily down the road. The vehicle, a dark SUV caked in mud, skidded near the ditch in front of his house before stalling completely. The engine coughed twice and died. Daniel hesitated. He had learned not to invite trouble. Life had already given him enough of it. But then the passenger door opened. A woman stepped out, soaked instantly by the rain. She was dressed in simple clothes, jeans, a thin sweater, but something about her posture didn't match the desperation of the moment. She moved carefully, protectively, as she opened the back door. A small girl climbed out. The child could barely stand. Daniel didn't think anymore. He ran down the porch steps into the storm. "Are you okay?" he shouted over the wind. The woman's face was pale, her dark hair plastered against her cheeks. "My daughter, she has a fever. The car broke down. Please, is there anywhere nearby we can stay?" Cedar Hollow had no hotels. The nearest town was 15 miles away. Daniel looked at the little girl. Her lips were dry, her breathing uneven. He swallowed. "Come inside." The woman hesitated only a second before nodding. Inside, Lily jumped up from her chair. "Daddy?" "It's okay, sweetheart," Daniel said gently. "We have guests." The woman introduced herself quietly. "My name is Anna. This is my daughter, May." May trembled as Daniel guided them toward the couch. He fetched a blanket and knelt beside the child. Her skin burned under his touch. "I'll get some water," Lily offered softly, already moving. Anna watched everything with wide, guarded eyes. Daniel noticed the small details without meaning to. The expensive stitching on Anna's coat lining, the delicate gold watch she quickly slid off her wrist and tucked into her bag as if hiding it. But he said nothing. He brought out an old thermometer from the bathroom cabinet. 103.8 degrees Fahrenheit. "She needs a doctor," Anna whispered, fear cracking her composure. "The clinic's closed," Daniel replied, "but I can drive you to the hospital in Millbrook. My truck's old, but it runs." Anna looked at him, studying his worn boots, his patched jacket, the thin walls of his home. "Why are you helping us?" she asked quietly. Daniel blinked at the question. "Because you need help," he said simply. For a moment, something shifted in her expression, like she wasn't used to that answer. They drove through the storm with Daniel gripping the wheel and Anna holding May close in the passenger seat. Lily stayed home, instructed to lock the door and call Mrs. Patterson next door if anything happened. At the hospital, Daniel filled out paperwork when Anna's hands trembled too much to hold the pen. He signed his own name under financial responsibility without hesitation. Anna noticed. Hours later, the doctor assured them it was a severe infection, but treatable. May would need monitoring overnight. Anna sat beside the hospital bed long after midnight, staring at her daughter's small face. Daniel stood awkwardly near the door. "She'll be okay," he said. Anna looked up at him, and for the first time, her eyes weren't guarded. "They weren't supposed to find us," she murmured. Daniel frowned. "Find you?" She shook her head. "It doesn't matter." But it did matter. He felt it. The next morning, Anna insisted on paying him back for hospital expenses. I don't have much, Daniel admitted honestly, but that's not why I helped. Anna studied him again, as if trying to understand something foreign. They returned to Cedar Hollow because May was too weak to travel far. The SUV wouldn't start, and towing services said it would take days due to the storm damage. Daniel offered them the spare bedroom. It's small, he said embarrassed, but it's warm. Anna ran her fingers lightly across the worn wooden dresser in the room. It's more than we have right now. Over the next few days, something unexpected happened. Lily and May became inseparable. Daniel noticed Anna watching them often, her expression soft but distant, like someone remembering a life far removed from this one. At night, Daniel heard Anna on the phone in hushed tones. I told you not to track the car, she whispered once. No, I don't care about the board meeting. My daughter was sick. Board meeting? Daniel's suspicions deepened. One afternoon while May napped, Daniel fixed the broken alternator in Anna's SUV. He worked quietly, grease staining his hands, not asking questions. Anna stepped outside, observing him. You're good with your hands, she said. Comes with being broke, he replied with a faint smile. She almost smiled back. Daniel, she said carefully, if you knew someone had a complicated life, enemies, expectations, would you still help them? He tightened a bolt before answering. People aren't their enemies, or their money, or whatever mess they're running from. Her breath caught slightly. How do you know that? He stood, wiping his hands. Because I've been judged by things that weren't the whole story. She looked at him differently after that. That evening, black SUVs rolled slowly down the dirt road toward his house. Daniel noticed them first. Anna froze. They found us, she whispered. Men in tailored suits stepped out, scanning the property like security professionals. Lily ran to Daniel's side. Daddy? One of the men approached, stopping a respectful distance away. Ms. Liang, he said firmly, we've been searching for you. Liang. Daniel's heart skipped. Anna, no, Ms. Liang, straightened her posture. The vulnerability vanished, replaced by quiet authority. I told you I needed time, she said calmly. The board is in crisis. The shareholders... I don't care about shareholders, she snapped softly. My daughter was sick. The man's gaze shifted to Daniel. And who is this? Daniel stepped slightly in front of Lily without thinking. Just someone who offered shelter, Anna answered before he could speak. The man nodded, but his eyes were calculating. Daniel's chest tightened. What's going on? Anna turned to him. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she exhaled. My full name is Anna Liang Zhao, she said quietly. I am the majority shareholder and acting CEO of Liang Global Holdings. The name meant nothing to Daniel, until the man added, it's a multinational corporation valued at over $12 billion. Silence fell over the yard. Daniel stared at her. The woman who had slept in his spare bedroom, the woman who washed dishes beside Lily, the woman who cried in a hospital chair. A billionaire. Anna watched his reaction carefully. He didn't step back. He didn't look impressed. He didn't bow. He simply said, Does May still need her medicine at 6? Anna's composure broke for a split second. Yes, she whispered. The men waited. The board expects you back in New York immediately, one of them insisted. Anna looked at Daniel's small house, the cracked porch, Lily holding his hand tightly. For the first time in years, she had slept without security guards outside her door. For the first time, someone had helped her without asking for anything in return. She turned back to the suited men. Give me 24 hours. Ms. Liang. 24, she repeated, her voice carrying the weight of command. They relented. As the SUVs drove away, Daniel finally spoke. You could have told me. I didn't know if I could trust you, she admitted. He nodded slowly. Fair enough. Wind rustled through the trees as the storm clouds finally began to break. Anna stepped closer. There are things happening in my company, she said quietly. Dangerous things. People who would use my daughter to control me. Daniel's jaw tightened. And now they know where you were, he said. Yes. A heavy silence settled between them. Then headlights appeared again at the end of the road. But these weren't black SUVs. These moved faster, reckless. Anna's face drained of color. They're not mine, she whispered. Daniel stepped forward instinctively as the unfamiliar vehicles tore down the dirt path toward his home. And the first gunshot shattered the quiet evening air. Lily screamed. Daniel didn't think. He moved. Inside! Now! He shouted, grabbing Lily with one arm while pushing Anna toward the door. Another shot tore through the wooden railing of the porch, splintering it into shards. May cried from the living room couch, confused and terrified. Daniel shoved the door open and practically threw them inside before slamming it shut. He flipped the lock and dropped low, pulling Lily down with him. Anna rushed to May, wrapping her arms around her daughter. "What is happening?" Daniel demanded, his voice controlled but fierce. Anna's face was pale, but her eyes were sharp now. "They're not from my company." Outside, tires screeched, car doors slammed. Daniel crawled to the window and lifted the edge of the curtain just enough to see. 3 men, dark jackets, not suits, not corporate security. One of them held a rifle. "They're not here to talk," Daniel muttered. Another bullet punched through the window, spraying glass across the room. Lily gasped, but Daniel shielded her body with his own. "Basement?" Anna asked urgently. "There isn't one." The house was small, old, vulnerable. Daniel's mind raced. He had no weapon except a rusted baseball bat in the hallway closet. He grabbed it. Anna stared at him. "You can't fight rifles with that." "Watch me," he replied quietly. A man kicked the front door hard. The old frame groaned. Daniel looked at Anna. "Back bedroom, lock it, stay quiet." Anna hesitated only a second before lifting May and running down the hall. The door splintered on the second kick. 3 men stormed inside. "Search the house," one barked. Daniel stepped out from the side of the doorway and swung the bat with everything he had. It connected with a sickening crack against the first man's shoulder. The rifle clattered to the floor. The second man fired instinctively, the shot tearing into the ceiling. Daniel tackled him before he could aim again. They crashed into the kitchen table. The third man lunged forward and stopped. Red and blue lights flooded the windows. Sirens screamed down the road. The attackers cursed. "Move!" one shouted. They fled as quickly as they'd come, diving back into their vehicles and speeding away into the dark fields. Daniel lay on the floor, breathing hard, his knuckles split and bleeding. The sirens grew louder. Anna stepped out from the hallway, still holding May. "You're hurt," she said, rushing to him. "I've been worse," he muttered. Sheriff Callahan burst through the broken doorway with deputies behind him. "What the hell happened here?" Daniel pushed himself up. 3 men, armed. They knew exactly where to come. The sheriff's gaze shifted to Anna. Recognition flickered. "You," he said slowly. "I saw your face on the news this morning." Anna stiffened. Callahan's voice dropped. "Liang Global's CEO missing after shareholder dispute." Daniel turned sharply to her. "Shareholder dispute?" Anna looked between them. "It's not just a dispute," she said quietly. "Someone is trying to force a hostile takeover. If I refuse, they lose billions. If I disappear, they win control." The sheriff exhaled slowly. "You're saying this was corporate?" "No," Anna replied. "This was personal." Silence settled heavy in the broken house. Callahan rubbed his jaw. "I can put a patrol out here tonight, but if what you're saying is true, this is bigger than Cedar Hollow." Daniel looked around his shattered living room. His daughter's drawings scattered across the floor, glass glittering under the lights. "They shot at my house," he said quietly. "That makes it my problem." Anna studied him. "Daniel, you didn't sign up for this." He met her gaze steadily. "Neither did Lily." The sheriff cleared his throat. "You sure you want to stay here tonight?" Daniel nodded once. Yeah. Callahan sighed. I'll station a unit down the road. When the deputies left, the house felt fragile. Anna helped Daniel clean up the glass while Lily and May sat together in the hallway, whispering. You should go with your security, Daniel said finally. They can't protect me from the board, Anna replied. Only from bullets. He paused. And what protects you from them? She didn't answer. Later that night, after the girls were asleep in the same bed, Anna sat across from Daniel at the small kitchen table. You could have died tonight, she said. So could you. That's different. Why? Because I'm used to it. Daniel leaned back in his chair. You shouldn't be. She studied him carefully. Do you know what $12 billion feels like? She asked. No. It feels like a cage. The words hung between them. I built that company from nothing after my husband died, she continued softly. I protected it, grew it, fought for it, but somewhere along the way, it stopped being mine. And now? He asked. Now they want it. A long silence followed. Daniel folded his hands on the table. Then fight. Her lips curved faintly. With what? With whatever you have left. The next morning, news vans crowded the end of the dirt road. The story had broken. Billionaire CEO found hiding in rural town. Armed attack overnight. Cameras pointed at Daniel's broken porch. Anna stood inside, watching through the curtain. I never wanted this near your life, she said. Daniel shrugged. Too late. A black SUV pulled up again, but this time Anna's official security detail stepped out, armed and alert. Her lead security officer approached. Ma'am, we need to relocate you immediately. Anna looked back at the house, at Lily laughing softly with May, at Daniel fixing the broken railing despite his bruised ribs. She turned back to the officer. I'm not running anymore, she said. Ma'am, prepare the jet. Daniel froze mid-hammer strike. Jet? Anna walked toward him slowly. I have to go back, she said. Face them. End this. He nodded once. Okay. She hesitated. Come with me. The words surprised even her. To New York, she clarified. As my advisor. Daniel almost laughed. I fix engines, Anna. You fix things, she replied softly. That's enough. He looked at Lily, at the cracked windows, at the small life he'd been barely holding together. What would I even do there? Stand beside me, she said, like you did last night. Silence stretched between them. Then Lily ran up. Gaddy, are we going on an airplane? He looked down at her wide, hopeful eyes, then back at Anna. For the first time in years, fear wasn't the loudest thing in his chest. Possibility was. He exhaled slowly. Okay, he said. Anna's shoulders relaxed in a way he hadn't seen before. The security team moved quickly. Within hours, Daniel Harper, poor single father from Cedar Hollow, was boarding a private jet beside one of the most powerful women in the world. As the plane lifted into the sky, Daniel looked out the window at the shrinking fields below. Anna sat across from him, her expression calm but determined. This ends now, she said quietly. Daniel met her gaze. Yeah, he replied. It does. And somewhere far below, in a boardroom filled with men who thought they had already won, the real fight was just beginning.